You're not going to try and marry him. What is the age gap? What does that fucking matter?
Also in position as well.
I mean, I get the whole we don't work well together. That's an argument to be made, but especially with the age gap. You're not going to go to the shindig. You're not hanging out at Lover's Lane. Like, what are you doing? Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with another episode of Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Gaiden. We are in, 100 billion lights, 100 billion stars? We're into episode 4. Unfortunately today, well, one, we have no comments, so we can skip that section of the, of the diatribe. I don't have the board ready because... truth be told, I started doing all my notes like at 8 o'clock last night, which is not the preferred time to be doing anything. But oddly, I do have a board change log because I just, took all the notes of what I should change. Let me send this to you. Just to indicate all the shit that I've got to do on the board when I finally get it loaded back up.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a lot of people. It's just the faster to take a note about it than it is to actually do it, because I've got to take since it's Gaiden doesn't have the resource of behind the voice actor that I do for all the other shows, so I've really got to take a screenshot, edit it to the right size, load it up on the board. That takes not an inconsiderable amount of time, like, I don't know, a minute and a half, 2-3 minutes per person. So if there's like a couple of episodes where there's a lot of people get introduced, which Legend of Galactic Heroes loves to do, at 2-3 per person, they're gonna be sitting on just 15 to 30 minutes of uploading images per an episode. Plus everyone's connected to everybody else. So yeah, no, I focused more on taking notes, of which I've got none of quality, but I have some. So, and I'm assuming you have none?
No.
Of course. I guess Reinhardt got promoted for his work on Odin, which is where the last series took place, the capital of the Empire. As the show never mentioned his promotion, he is complaining about only being a Commodore at the start of this new arc, where he was a captain at the end of the last one. It looks like Kirchase still hasn't been promoted, however.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm not kind of liking about him. He's got him a little big-headed, which I think this whole arc is about. Sort of part of it is like, yeah, you gotta learn a little patience, my friend. You're at what, 19? Well, not even 19. He's 17 or 18, and he's already a Commodore. So it's like,
I mean, that's what Kirchase says.
Yeah, like you have your meteoric rise to the ranks. Most people would be twice your age and half your rank by this stage. So yeah, I mean, he's probably commanding people that are literally twice his age. And get that comment, like, there's the comment where they're in the communications pit, and it's like, oh, there's a barrier thing that they can't hear us. You can say whatever we want as long as we don't look like we're,
which is dumb, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't also explain what the helmets are about, because we still haven't figured that one out. They just started appearing one day, and now they're on everybody. But I don't know, because also they have, like, scenes where he's, like, giving communications to people on the bridge, like, telling them what to do, but if there's a blackout curtain around them, how's that working?
I guess he has to press a button or something,
what button?
In the chair?
There's literally the chair and nothing. Not even guardrails, by the way.
Yeah.
If she gets rocked, you're going to go flying off, what, a story? Down to the floor?
Yeah, that Imperial architecture.
I suppose it is interesting to note that during the meeting of the admirals, they say that they will refer to the system by the name the rebels use, implying Van Fleet isn't their name for the system.
Yeah, but it's also supposed to be a autonomous region?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, this is a system.
You're on the wrong side of the...
Oh.
Sorry, I was going to gesture, but it's really hard to do with one hand. I guess There's a joke there, but don't. Galactic Empire. No, is it the Imperial? Yeah, it's the Galactic Empire. Sorry, I'm thinking then that's Star Wars. Like the Imperium. No, that's Warhammer. I don't know. Anyway, Galactic Empire, Free Planets Alliance, upper tier, Isolarn Corridor. Beneath that, Pheasant. Pheasant is the independent region. Isolarn Corridor is the corridor. It's not an independent region because Pheasant has the planet that's independent. Isolarn is a fortress, so it's not independent. Yeah. It is imperial territory.
Yeah. I understood. Yes, I understood.
Yeah, but okay, after you understand, then you go back to the original thought and then think, do I have any thoughts about this? You do the Back to the Future timeline thing where, this is the wrong timeline. Jump back, fix, okay, we're back on the right timeline. New thoughts?
I know new thoughts because I stand corrected.
Yeah, but that wasn't... We weren't talking about you being wrong. That just happened to be a funny circumstance. The conversation was about the fact that the rebels have different names for for the systems than the Imperials do.
Well, here's the thing. It might actually be a name that predates the Empire. We know that there was a government, then the Empire happened, and then we had the Free Worlds Alliance. It could be the Free Worlds Alliance is using a name like that fleet that predates the Empire.
I don't think that could
rebel name.
Well, because the Galactic Federation becomes the Empire.
Yeah.
So it's not that it predates it because it's the same thing, right? The same way that the sorry, I'm forgetting my Star Wars all of a sudden. The Galactic Republic becomes the Galactic Empire in Star Wars. It's technically the same thing.
Yeah, but when you have, especially in this Galactic Empire, where they made a huge change about, because we don't know what language they were speaking before. Was German always the dominant language? I mean, they clearly made deliberate changes to their society, they're also linguistic as well, to everything. So it could have been this, like they say, oh, we're not going to call this anymore because this is the old stuff, but we have broken away from that. We have changed that deliberately.
I think they would have told us if that sort of massive change had happened. They fucking told us everything else so far. I don't think we'd this far into the backstory of everything, and they wouldn't say, "Oh, by the way, we renamed everything 2,000 years ago, or not, 150 years ago."
150. Well, 150 is when the Free Alliance, Worlds Alliance happens. The Empire is much older than that, about 300 years by their own calendar.
You want to correct the guy who's actively got maybe, I don't know, 5 pages of timeline that he's written himself? Is this the path you want to go down?
I'm just saying. I could be wrong, but...
UC 309, by the way, it's very confusing to me, who's also actively keeping a track of the Universal Century timeline. But UC 309, Foundation of Galactic Empire by Rudolph von Goldbaum's Usurpation after the Galactic Federation era. UC 309. Current date, scrolling down, 79. Oh, no, that is the future. 794. Sorry, I'm also keeping a timeline of things people say will happen. This is very confusing. UC 794. So 300 years. About 400, I guess.
So I was right. Not 800, but 300.
Well, technically, if you're playing Price is Right rules, you're wrong and I win. 150 is less than without going over. 800.
If we're playing, right? Yeah, that's a very specific set of rules.
It's not very specific. Do you not live your life by the Price is Right rules?
How anybody?
I'm constantly doing things where, like, well, what do you think that is? Or how much do you think that costs? Constantly. Price is Right rules. Well, I was close without getting over.
Yeah, okay.
I would also argue that 150 is closer to 400 than 800 is. So I win in most metrics.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Moving on.
I mean, yeah, sure is the grounds of a person who's lost an argument.
It's a pointless argument.
Well, I mean, it's pointless in the same respect of this anime isn't real.
Okay, yeah,
All of
but
it is pointless at the end of the day. It's what we invest our time in.
sure. But it's pointless in the sense that you just change the rules. Like, well, if we use this set of rules, then I'm more
Okay,
correct
fair
than
enough.
you are.
I will say it's fair enough because it's a very pedantic argument that you're making, but it's also the sort of pedantic argument I would make if I was wrong. You take the win on that one because it's only as close to a win as you're gonna get.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
The words of a person losing an argument. And we're back again from 2 minutes ago. So when his name appeared, I was focused on the fact another Muckenberger had shown up, since we've just about got a dynasty of them up on the board, from Keltring to Wilhelm. I guess Gregor here must be the picture of the child we'd seen back in the Bruce Ashby days of our flashbacks of 50 years ago with Wilhelm's death.
And now he's an admiral, right? Yeah, he's an admiral. So he also has an axe to grind? I guess he does. I mean, his father and grandfather both died in that battle, so, you know.
I don't think that he can.
No.
Bruce Ashby's dead, so, I mean, it's a hard axe to grind to kill a dead man.
Oh, remember that his grandfather actually died of a heart attack, but he sent his nephew, actually. It wasn't his son.
He didn't die of a heart attack. He died in the fleet battle with Bruce Ashby.
No, that was his... No,
No,
the story was that...
Keltring is from before that, he was the older guy who died wanting revenge on Bruce Ashby. His son, Wilhelm, his son Gregor, Wilhelm. His son Wilhelm was trying to get vengeance too. Yeah, he dies in the battle with Bruce Ashby. Yeah. Gregor is the survivor here, unless you're saying he's going to die of a heart attack.
No, because the grandfather died. He was the head of intelligence, I think it was. And he had a
Pretty sure Keltring was I think you might be confusing Siegfried with Wilhelm or Keltring. Keltring dies. I don't remember how Keltring dies. I think he dies in the fleet engagement as well, because he was not intelligence. He was fleet admiral.
Yeah. I think he died before he could get into battle, and then his son was in the battle to avenge him because they had a personal beef with what's his name, with Ashby. And then he dies in that battle, and then now we have his son, 60 years old, 50-some years old, yeah, in this battle.
I'm going to jump ahead of my notes here because it relates to this. Shocking comparison here, but Kristoff from Gang Story was born 1 year... No, actually, sorry. This doesn't relate to that. It relates to the age thing, sorry. Kristoff from Yang Story was born 1 year earlier than Grimmelshausen from our current story. You know, the old man with the cane who can't stay awake. Kristoff looked amazing for his age as compared to Grimmelshausen. Then again, he just drifted off to death 5 years ago, whereas Grimmelshausen persists.
So we don't know. I mean, ironically, one spent most of his adult life, or half of his adult life, in prison. Apparently he was treated well. Well, the admiral's just... Maybe he got a neurological condition or something, and that's why he degenerated so quickly.
Just for record's sake, Christoph von Kaufenhiller was born in UC 717. Richard von Grimmelshausen was born UC 718.
Oh, there you go.
And remember, that is currently your UC 794.
80. Both of them are in their 80s, right?
Well, one of them isn't.
No.
One of them stopped aging at some point.
Yeah. He stopped, period. He ceased to be.
It's a pretty harsh difference from the last arc for Reinhard to talk about people's ability, regardless of their genetics, to hear him in this arc talking about the old being a waste of oxygen. It feels like he is only slightly a progressive when it comes to normal Imperial thinking, but otherwise, much like Admiral Gerhardt, is only pushing for moderate change in the system, regardless of his aim for the Kaisership.
Yeah, but also I think it's one of those. It's the thing is like I want to change the things that personally affect me. I remember he is literally he comes from the lowest tier of nobility, right? It was a bought title, I think, the knighthood. So it's like, oh, people with money can actually buy into nobility at this level, right? So he's just literally a bought title away from being relatively rich but still commoner. So he has that. So those things that affect him and that level, fine. But he's a very young man who's also very ambitious and wants to be, the ruler of the galaxy or whatever part, Galactic Empire controls. And it's like, oh, this person is in my way. And, he's also it's a symbolism that they're part of the old guard that he wants to get rid of, right? Like the old should get out of my way. But, ageism, because it's against his personal interest. That's why I think he acted that way.
Again,
Not
no,
great.
it's the way he
I'm
frames
not.
it. He's
Yeah.
framing it in the ageist way, not in the old guard or people of his era or people close to the Kaiser. He literally
Yeah.
just says old people aren't worth the air.
Yeah.
They're dragging us all down. That's what he says.
Which I think again, it's one of those things in this arc he's gonna do because when he talks to him, it's like, oh, I used to be like you, blah blah. He's like, he has that shock face, like Pikachu face, like, oh.
Well, he's got 9 more episodes to figure it out. Kirchase says a line that I think goes by a little quick on the screen that clarifies why Grimmelshausen is given free rein by the Kaiser to do as he pleases. Evidently, he was a military aide-de-camp when the current Kaiser was the imperial advisor, handling things for the Kaiser that can't really be made public. Reinhardt's own bridge crew referred to Grimmelshausen as an old crook. Though that leaves me wondering what the progress of the current Kaiser was, if he used to be an advisor and wasn't just in the line of succession in the first place.
And we talked. Well, it's very interesting because he was an advisor to ostensibly his father.
Assumedly. I mean, we don't know that. As I was saying, why would you call him an imperial advisor and not like Prince Regent or whatever you would call him in this situation?
Mm-hmm. Or unless he was not, he was down the line of succession, right? And for whatever reason, the person wasn't. Well, there literally was no direct successor because we talked about it before, like somebody else, like down the line, getting either close to or becoming the Kaiser or Kaiserina, I think, which is not a direct descendant. So, yeah, there seems to be something wrong with the Kaisers and their ability to.
It's funny because I think I've mentioned before that I'm watching Apothecary Diaries now, and literally in the first episode of that, because you remember, God, what was his name? I don't have the board up. The little girl that we let go last arc, her family, some of them were worried about getting poisoned. No, some of them had gotten poisoned, and they were worried about that, and that's why they were trying to defect. Apothecary Diaries, the first episode, deals with the fact that a bunch of the Emperor's heirs and children have been getting poisoned to death. And that whole thing. And I'm like, my spitballing there is like, well, maybe he already has an oldest son that doesn't want any competition, or, somebody's already there. I mean, I think I'm completely wrong so far in that show, but it's funny how it's like here, too.
I mean, this Kaiser has consorts, at least one consort.
So does it in Apothecary Diaries. Literally, episode 1 is 2 different consorts. One gave birth to a boy, one gave birth to a girl. Uh-oh.
Yeah, because they might be using Chinese dynastical rules in this case, in which the Chinese emperors would have many a consort, right? They would have
literally the entire rear palace is all consorts.
Yeah.
And what was it, like 2,000 consorts, 1,000 eunuchs?
Yeah.
No, sorry, no, that's right. No, that's right. There's a 2-to-1 eunuch thing going on. That's why. And one of the eunuchs is so handsome because he's just there to tempt the consorts to make sure that they're loyal to the emperor.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good show so far. According to his collar pin, Yang has been promoted from lieutenant commander to captain since the last time we saw him back at the 5th Battle of Iserlon. Additionally, Bukak is now referred to as an admiral. Pointing to
But
write
he's
down
never
since
been.
I haven't shown the board.
Yeah. Which is interesting because you would think that eventually Yang would get a command of a ship, but
Well, for all we know, he is in command of the ship that he's on. It just so
hanging
happens that,
back, hanging
well,
back as he always
it
does.
could be the
It's like,
situation that the people in charge of the fleet. Yeah, I saw that
mhm,
going by too. It could
yeah.
be the people in charge of the fleet are actively on board his ship, in which case he's delegated or has been delegated to responding to their commands.
Yeah, I mean,
The admiral of the fleet is taking control of your ship.
it becomes a flagship,
Yeah,
literally.
you're still technically captain of the ship, but they are in charge.
But in that situation, like, okay, very simply, in a flagship, the commanders are command of the entire ship, but the sort of moment to moment command will still be on the captain. Like, move here, do this, do that. Right? I want to move this ship 9 degrees to wherever. Okay, the captain would do that or would give the order. He just sort of like doing the Yang pose, like
Yeah, but there's
this
that
is
also there's that
yeah.
thing that we see happen in the show where the fleet size is so big that not a lot of movement happens. There is no moment to moment movement happening in this fleet's engagement.
Yeah.
Grimmelshausen claims he's been fighting against the rebels for 56 years. Could be completely unconnected, but that would mean he entered military service the same year that Siegmeister reached out to Bruce Ashby.
Mm. And is if the rebels by the Free Alliance has existed for 150 years. Essentially, he has fought for 1/3 of the time of the existence of the
See,
Free
that's how
Alliance.
easy it is to fall into that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We already covered it's actually been 400 years, but you are now repeating what I said about 150 years.
No. I'm talking about for 150 years of the existence of the Free Planets Alliance, not the entire calendar. I'm
You
not
want
talking about that.
you want to bet? You want to play this Price is Right game again?
No.
So the reason that the Alliance built a base on Van Fleet 4-2 and the reason the Empire sent a fleet to build a base there is that both fleets had commanders the superiors didn't like. A real red versus blue situation playing out.
So what's it called? What's the name of the canyon? Gulch Canyon? It's just
Well, the
Ox
canyon is
Canyon.
a box canyon, but I
Ox
don't believe
Canyon.
that
Yeah.
the name has Gulch in it. I can't remember what it is.
Gulch is something else. Yeah.
Well, it's been a while since I've watched Red versus Blue.
Yeah.
The Rosenritter is a military force made up of Imperial refugees and their children that we come to learn also has the highest defection rate, implying that defection and returning to the Empire isn't a death sentence. Maybe coming back with intel is as valuable as your life is.
It must be. Which is interesting because then I guess the death penalty is to stop you from becoming a traitor, but once you betray them and can come back with something, it's like, well, we do want to encourage people to defect to us because we're supposed to be the superior society. So, like
Well,
something.
I got another note here. It's an interesting note that defectors from the Alliance are treated favorably as it makes good propaganda, according to Reinhardt, when wondering why Herman had only been promoted once in the last few years.
And he was not only promoted, he actually managed to get married under circumstances.
Oh, that'll go to my next note then. I wonder if there was any point to showing Schoonkopf kicking Herman in the crotch multiple times beyond showing how they fight dirty. For some reason, I can't help but think it might tie back to the written record of Herman using ungentlemanly tactics to force his current wife into marriage. That might be a ruse, and maybe he has no ability to do so, and is covering for something else for the Hartenbergs.
Although, how effective would kicks in the nuts would be when you're wearing battle armor?
I mean, they practicing it as a tactic, so clearly
Yeah,
it
yeah.
must be. That's what I'm saying. Maybe he has no dick. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe Lady Hardenberg was
Uh-huh.
pregnant from something else, and that he's covering
Oh,
for that. And now he's got the reputation of being ungentlemanly, like, oh, he got her pregnant before marriage or something like that. And he's taking the reputation fall to save her some face. And maybe because they introduced the concept of he's ungentlemanly or whatever, he kind of forced her into marriage, or the Count Hartenberg pushed this to keep her from sorrow, I believe is what he said. Kirchist
okay.
says, so that maybe something else had happened, and he's actively actually a good guy because Kirchist is looking this up to see if Herman might be a future Reinhardt ally moving forwards. So it feels like if they're doing that, maybe they're implying that he will be, and that maybe he does have this more sympathetic backstory than one might think. And all of that indicated by 2 kicks to the nuts.
Okay, that's a hell of a kick.
Well, because it's indicated by
So
that research that Kirchhoff was doing, and then, well, why isn't he feeling it if they're indicating that he's pretty good in the sack or whatever? Well, maybe he has no sack.
that's one way to put it. Yeah, and one of the reasons why I'm not watching Down da Down da Down.
I heard it was really good, but I can't
Yeah,
actively go out on my way to watch stuff on my own because it might show up on the channel. So, but yeah, no, I think there might be visual metaphor at play. That's what I'm indicating towards. I don't know. I enjoy it when shows do that sort of thing. So I'm hoping it is because I want more depth than can be imagined.
Mm.
Because if we go down the line, like we get to the show and Herman's like, "Here's my wife. She had a horrible ex who like did, and now I'm like taking the fault. Like, yeah, I called it. If I remember that far into the
Yeah.
future." All right. Well, my last note here. Herman implies he's got inside intel on what the Alliance is up to as an argument for his leading of the recon unit. It's implied that sorry, that was not prepared for the German, said Europe in 19... sorry. It's implied that Wanshoff might have been
No.
invited to defect back to the Imperial side, though that could also be just the fact that Herman is a former defector from the Alliance, and that is his inside intel. It's just old information. The fact
No.
that
No.
Wanshoff gets all shot up by the Imperial attack would also go a ways to showing that he isn't defecting. Also, he dies later on, so...
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
I
why I
was gonna
wasn't
say
letting
something.
you interrupt, because I had more, and I felt like you were going to say, oh, no, he died, or he got attacked. It's like, no, it's in here.
No, 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 no. Because I just forgot the name of the person I was going to talk about, who was a former commander of that unit before he defected back
That's
to the
Herman.
Empire. So Herman, yeah. So yeah.
Da, 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 da. Herman von Lundberg.
Could it also this set up that Yang also recruit some of these people as well?
Like who?
I mean, if he's moving also up the ranks, and we know that in his thing, he's sort of have
You mean
been,
the same way we had the conversation about Kirchhoff looking up Herman?
yeah,
That Yang is going to recruit the Rosenritter?
could be.
I mean, yeah, anything could be. I mean, we don't know
I
because
mean,
we don't see a lot of
we
Yang.
well remember when we were talking about Yang's arc, one of the things we were kind of talking about was that he was gathering these people around him, right?
Well, I'm saying you
Friends
were
and others.
talking about that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something only you have brought up. The idea that
Mm.
we're seeing all this so they can be introduced to later.
Yeah.
Because I think that's self-evident. Because what would you do with the backstory but to show how these people first met or things like that.
Mhm.
Although I feel like we're doing it more about world building.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're going to get to the actual show and they'll be like, hey, you remember what happened at the 5th Battle of Iserlon? And be like, we saw it. We were there. We know now.
Yeah.
We don't even have to sit through a whole episode of flashback that we're probably going to get. I mean, we're going to be in a fairly unique position once we start watching the show about not having to ask anything. In fact, it's going to be a little bit more tedious for us because we're like, we don't need to be introduced to the concept of why Siegfried and Reinhard are in this position together. We saw it. Instead of being like, who are these two guys? What are they about?
Go on.
I'm sorry, there was no dove when you handed this. So, it's supposed to be a rabbit? Was my card supposed to be there? What are we doing?
I'm saying, do go on.
Well, I already said that was my last thought. So really, this is
Okay.
just a matter of you responding.
Well, I already did because we're talking about building teams and all that. So that could be that he, both sides. Clearly, Kershai's and Siegfried are trying to recruit because they have their plans to, have Siegfried become the next emperor or something close to it. And Yang is moving up the ranks. It's like, oh, these people might be useful. But more like friends and acquaintances. Like, oh, I know that guy. I know that guy. And eventually, when he finds himself in command, it's like, well, shit, I guess I got to put up a team, right? And dun, 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 he just starts gathering people around him.
So
right?
A-Team was your go-to. Instead of,
Mhm.
say, a more prescient one, like, I don't know, the Avengers theme song or something.
I don't remember the event. If you play the Avengers theme song, I would recognize it, but I can't.
Or, you just said Avengers Assemble or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of our audience... Well, I don't know. We could probably have... I think our audience is in the 40s, typically, driven by YouTube numbers. So, maybe. I don't know, because A-Team is still old for a 40-year-old. So...
Yeah, but it's also the internet anyway.
Wait, that was the A-Team, right?
The
Dun,
80s.
dun, 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 dun.
1983.
No, I'm saying that is the
2022.
theme song for the A-Team, right? Because
Yeah.
some reason
Yeah.
something else is kicking around in my head.
No, it's the 18. Yeah.
All right, well, for any fan of the remake movie they did, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess without anything left to do, let's go ahead and hop on in and see what the next episode has for us.
But before we get started,
Make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered.
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
I have to turn down my volume for a sec. But as always,
The galaxy.
yeah, gotta talk over this.
Yeah. The
For this
galaxy.
super copyrighted woman sings a song.
Yeah, well, you know how YouTube is.
Well, no, for a second I had to remember that the opening is not classical music like the rest of the show is.
Yeah. And this is interesting because this is the first episode in these run that we seen Yang and Siegfried in the same arc. But we're still getting the intro where it's Siegfried and Kirschais as little kids, right?
I'm
So it's
glad
still
you
very much
find
a
that-
Siegfried story.
Glad you find it to be interesting, considering how I had to argue with you that it was interesting.
Well, I guess I'm not the only one that has a faulty memory.
I don't have a faulty memory.
Oh, you have a faulty memory?
Well, I do, but no, I don't know what you're referring to.
Yeah.
I guess I don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
No, we had a whole argument about how it was interesting that Yang was here, and I'm like, that is the interesting part. And you're like, I don't see it. And I'm like, oh, fuck, whatever.
Well, it wasn't a big deal then because he just appears and that's it. I was thinking about the intro especially because if Yang had a bigger part to play, He might have, in this
We're
episode, they
like
would have done that.
36 episodes into this watch through, and our two main characters are finally in the same place at the same time. You're like, what the fuck cares about this?
Unless he doesn't do more than just sit like Yang does.
And yes, they are
knew
not
it. I knew
sitting.
it.
They're
They
not.
are-
They're
they
not.
are-
They're not.
They're submerged.
That's no.
They're not
It's
sitting
solid
flat.
metal. You know what you're
No,
seeing?
it isn't.
You know
It's
what you're
water.
seeing? You know what you're seeing? You're seeing light. The bottom halves are darker because they're shadowed by the light. It's not water. I literally just told you. I rewatched it this morning and last night. They nuked that, and then they covered it with liquid metal, or hardened liquid metal. So they're sitting on a metal cap.
撃破した敵の装甲車が4両、死亡17、捕虜7。この他に取り逃がしはしましたが、敵の連隊長に指名書を与えております。翻って味方の損害は軽傷が5名のみ。装甲車の後方データから反乱軍の根拠地が判明しております。
Because that's the downside of the Alliance shit, is they all rely on computers too much.
こちらが先制せねば敵が攻撃してくるだけのこと。この小さな衛星の地表で共存するわけにもいかない以上、生存と勝利とはほぼ同義語であります。司令官閣下のご裁断を願うものであります。
ミューゼル准将はどう思うかな。
Still don't know why they keep calling him Musil. They gave him the name Lohengramm back in the movie.
副将の見解は首相のそれと同様のはず。彼に意見を求められるのは失礼ながら不見識でいらっしゃいましょう。
ああ、そうか。
Yeah, but how about the fact you report to me so I get to ask whatever fucking questions I want to ask? Sit your ass down.
まるでキャツが全員の敵意や悪意を一身に引き受けてしまったような雰囲気なのだ。おかげで俺が睨まれることは少なくなったが、とてもそれを感謝する気分にはなれないな。
ラインハルト様はこれまで良くも悪くも注目の的でいらっしゃいましたから。
リューネブルクの出現によって自分がその他大勢の脇役になり下がってしまったような気持ちだ。
しかし、
Do they look a little older in this?
Well, let's see. We've been watching them for 18 years now.
Yeah, no, but this episode in particular, I noticed that they kind of look a little older. Maybe I'm just.
It has been. I didn't make a note of it in my little notes section, but it's been a year. Well, technically, it's been 11 months since Odin.
Mhm.
軍務において鳴かず飛ばずであったのは機会が到来するまで仮眠していたのかもしれんな。
いずれにしましても彼の存在がマイナスであるのははっきりしてきたようですね。
I heard that.
陸戦部隊の出動準備に関して K の再艦に期待させてもらうがよろしいかな。
K を失望させることがないよう努力しよう。リューネブルク准将。なんという嫌な油断のならないやつだ。
So Kirche said.
俺を奴の成功のための原材料にするつもりでいる。俺は奴と同じ場所の空気を吸うことさえ嫌になってきた。
Oh, last time somebody did that.
ダメだ、キルヒアイス。
Yeah, that joke didn't work.
俺は生意気だとか成り上がりだとか非難されるのは何ら通用も感じないが、能力や責任感に対して疑問を持たれるのは耐えられない。悔しいが職務に精霊しよう。
はい、ライハルト様。
俺は自分がこんなに損な性分だとは思わなかった。
That chair squeaks when you sit in it.
俺はもしかして貧乏
Looks like it's made of that kind of material.
全部リューネブルクの功績にされてしまうと分かりきっているのに、一生懸命仕事をしようというのだものな。
Like with the sound dampening the rest of the room, no one would hear it.
ラインハルト様がぼやかれるのを初めて聞いたような気がしまして。
Except for that, all those other days since we've been in this arc.
And then he's doing the whole biting his. Oh, it's a. French flag with the roundel, I guess.
Well, I mean,
というわけで
across the
And of course.
history of flags, it's always the same
Yeah.
colors for freedom. But I'm pretty sure that's just the Free Planets Alliance flag.
連隊長代理殿に敬礼。どの程度の兵力で押し寄せてきますかね、帝国軍のやつら。さあ、フライングボールの1チームより少ない。
Sorry, did the janitor staff take a vacation? What the hell's going on in this corridor?
真面目な話、帝国軍の一個艦隊の兵力から陸戦隊を主軸として10万人以上は軽く動員できると見ておくべきだろうな。
10万か。こちらは実戦部隊を全て合わせても2万がいいところでしょうね。
しかも基本的には後方待機の部隊ばかりだから命令系統もバラバラだし。
Yeah, that command is important.
リッターは戦意も高く中佐の指揮にも従うでしょうが、他の部隊との連携は期待できんでしょう。
Except the members of the command didn't like these people.
Yeah.
These are the people they didn't want in their space fight.
ではデッケン、周辺の詳しい地形図を 3D スクリーンに表示しろ。固定砲による河川の集中角度を計算し、効率のいい射撃方法を算出するんだ。ブームハルト、下方ごとの消費弾薬量。
Of course, if the alliance does better than expected here, then that means that the Commodore might look bad, unless he actually can pull a win.
それにしてもリューネブルク大佐もそりゃあ颯爽とした人でした。
Who are you talking about?
You know that what's his name was telling Siegfried, "Oh, I'm taking over, right? Support me in the best way you can." And Siegfried was Herman, yeah. Siegfried was like, "I hate being, being talked to like this way, blah blah blah." If these guys in the alliance manage to do better than expected, they might make Herman look bad. And that means Herman takes the hit.
Unless he wins, which threw me off, because if he wins, then yeah, he won. I'm just very confused by your statement of if these guys win, it'll be bad for Herman unless Herman wins. Was the breakdown of your statement? It was really, yeah, that's a truism.
お家を再興したくなったのかもしれんぜ。そんなもんでしょうか。まあ、奴のことはともかく、今は準備だ。
Shit, I just missed something very important to my whole theory about Herman.
さて、どのくらいの時間持ちこたえることができるかな。
持ちこたえるだけでいいんですか？
劣悪な兵器と不十分な補給、少数の兵力、不正確な情報、過剰な投資。
Also, I'm feeling like a pain in my back, like right around here, near the sciatica.
楽天家ではないんでね。司令官には味方の艦隊に救援を求めるように提案してある。我々はそれが間に合うまで持ちこたえればいいというわけさ。
I don't know, it feels like a bad idea. Although, we do know that they're coming, because Bokak decided that he's about to come.
Yeah.
They make the comment Bokak is a tactician, not a strategist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't making that joke. I'm not making fun of the old man's name. Just remember that Bokak is coming.
Yeah, I got it.
He's a 70-year-old man. God, have some respect for God's sakes.
I hope. Well, I'm hoping he does. Otherwise, he'll need the space version of Viagra or something.
We need Bokak to come. The old man has to come.
Otherwise,
we'll be in trouble.
We're fucked. That's what it will be.
若い者はとかく請求で戦果にのみ目を向けがちじゃが、戦闘には準備が何より必要じゃ。Kはそれをよく心得ておる。感心なことじゃ。
痛み入ります。
感心感心。
情けないな、キルヒアイス。
どうなさいました？急に。
考えてもみろ。宇宙はこんなにも広大で、歴史の流れは雄大なのに、俺はこんなつまらない星で、つまらない任務に従っているんだぞ。
グリンベルスハウゼン提督がお嫌いですか？
きとか嫌いとかそういう問題ではない。ただちょっと苦手だ。なんといっても年齢が離れすぎているからな。
You're not gonna try and marry him. What is the age gap? What does that fucking matter?
Also in position as well.
I mean, I get the whole we don't work well together. That's an argument to be made, but especially with the age gap. You're not gonna go to the shindig. You're not hanging out at Lover's Lane. Like, what are you doing?
承知。
ラインハルト様の功績がリューネブルクに吸収されてしまうのはやむを得ないとしても、彼の失敗の責任をラインハルト様に押し付けられ
That's what I said earlier, yeah. Sort of. That's what I implied.
リューネブルクに注意する必要がある。
Okay.
Is this our new commander?
I guess so.
Yeah.
ねえ、ワルタ。あんた結婚して家庭を持つ気はないの？
家庭に嫌われているんでね、俺は。
心配しないでよ。私と結婚しろなんて言わないから。結婚は一度で懲りたわ。ただね、あんたを相手にその気になった女が幾人もいるんだろうなってそう思っただけ。
What a shit swerve that was. Hey, have you ever thought about having a family? Yeah, me either. I was just, talking.
そう考えてるんでしょ、あんた。代弁してあげて。
Oh.
感謝なさい。
違うと言い切れないところはなんとも尺だな。
あんたたちの連隊長だったリューネブルク大佐について奇妙な噂を聞いたことがあるわ。
Harry has no dick.
彼、帝国貴族の娘と結婚したけど、その婚約者を殺したのは彼自身だって。
Oh, that's ungentlemanly.
写真を見て、彼はその女に惚れ込み、彼女を求めて逆亡命したんだって。信じる？
恋した経験のない文学少女が妄想するような話だな。
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors about Herman.
甘ったるくもないし、リューネブルクがそんな精神的糖尿患者だったらとっくに戦死してるだろうさ。
What does she do?
Okay. I guess she's an officer there?
Yeah, I mean, she's got to be military because this is a rear fallback base with no environment for a civilian population. It's just her fingernails are such the length that you wouldn't be able to do much typing work. So it's like, what do you do here?
She's wearing an uniform, so yeah.
Was that not the same person?
Yeah, they're...
Not unless she turned suddenly white. That other girl was not white. Yeah, this is a different guy. No? I guess maybe it's the lighting of the room. I swear that other woman was not white, and that woman was.
Yeah.
Unless maybe it is a different woman. Maybe he's just like getting around.
Or maybe that's
my wife.
あ、準備は
バッチリです。いいんですか？司令官閣下は顔を真っ赤にしていましたよ。
自分の無能さを皮肉られたとでも思ったかな。だが別に俺はやっこさんが無能だと思っているわけじゃない。ただ戦闘指揮に向いていないと判断しているだけだ。まあ曲解されたところで構わんがね。
しかし中将の言い草じゃありませんが、相変わらずお盛んなことで。
Maybe you be in the bedroom with me next time. Goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus.
はあ、実はそうなんです。
若い者がベッドの広さを持て余せなんてもったいないことだ。
What I say?
決戦前の景気づけにいい娘を紹介してやるぞ。
ありがとうございます。でも中佐、俺はまだ給料も安くって結婚にはまだ早すぎますし。まだ22歳ですし、本当に好きな女もまだいませんし。
結婚？
俺の女性観は中佐殿とちょっと違うんです。ああ、無論中佐殿の考えを非難するとかそんなつもりはありません。ただ俺がなんとなくそうしたいと思っているだけのことで。
These better not be one-off characters.
やっぱり。
いやいや、
Not because their dialogue is so great. I just mean because I don't give a fuck unless we're gonna see them again.
そしていい女に巡り合い生き延びるべきこれほど重大な理由は多分他にはないからな。
生煮えのフリカッセを食べさせられているような気分だ。胃もたれてしょうがない。
戦闘らしい戦闘はこれからですから。
ただ破壊と殺戮が展開されてそれでよしというわけじゃない。理論における完成度、芸術における洗練度といったものが戦闘にも欲しいのだ。この戦いはあまりに偶然の要素が大きい。しかも
There's probably a better way to indicate that they're rocking a lot than just to shake the animation frames.
今回はラインハルト様の個人的な武君を立てることに。
Yeah, it feels very much shaky cam kind of situation, but you know, it is an armored vehicle.
I very much don't feel like they're rocking. I just feel like the frames are moving up and down. Like not even the tufts of his hair are moving. I mean, you command 100 ships. It's not nothing.
ミューゼル准将、通信封鎖に入る前に開戦にあたっての K の意見を聞こうか。
地上戦それ自体にはさほど不安を抱く必要はありますまい。比嘉の戦力差は大きく、それを生かす準備も十分に整えてあります。ただ留意すべきは敵の宇宙戦力が我が艦隊に対して上空より攻撃をかけてくることです。
私が将来栄達するようなことがあればぜひ K を幕僚に迎えたいものだ。 K の才能と指揮権は18歳とは思えぬ。今後も私が帝国のために武人としての責務を
No! You don't invite me, I invite you!
時間だ。これより作戦開始まで無線を封鎖する。
聞いたかキルヒアイス。
How dare he? I'm the main character. Me! Not him! Me!
門地がないと言って軽蔑しているのに進んで機関に臨むと奴が俺を認めてくれると。
You hear that, my subordinate?
Yeah.
キルヒアイス。
ラインハルト様。
At least he didn't call you.
凡人ではない。だが竜に向かって蛇の部下になりを進めている。凡人より立ちが悪い。それにしてもこの出会いはどちらにとってより不幸なことなのだろう。
He didn't say that your sister was the one that gave you the commission, you know.
Trying to make a dragon the subordinate of a snake. It's just, you know, you are following his commands. So technically, a dragon is taking commands from a snake.
Oh, he doesn't consider himself a dragon. That's the thing.
Well, Curtius does.
通信回線を開け。周波数合わせます。
帝国軍に次ぐ。帝国軍に次ぐ。無駄な攻撃はやめ、両手を上げて引き返せ。そうしたら命だけは助けてやる。今ならまだ間に合う。お前たちの故郷では恋人がベッドを温めてお前たちの改良を待っているぞ。
帝国軍のやつらどうやら退却する気はなさそうですぜ、中佐。
だろうな。俺が帝国軍の指揮官でもそうするさ。まあこれで奴らの故郷の恋人たちへの義理。
I mean, there's 5 times as many of them as there are you. I don't see any reason.
回線が開いたらまず帝国軍の通信を受けてみるべきではないか。盲導にも程があるぞ。
紳士的にかつ平和的に解決を提案してみただけのことですがね。
どこが紳士的だ、どこが平和的だ。喧嘩を売っているのに人質ではないか。
奴らの方がわざわざ買いに来ているんです。せいぜいいい品を高く売りつけてやるのが人の道というものでしょう。
そいつは
At least he's an entertaining character.
いらなかったら返品に来るかもしれませんね。
とにかくこれ以後基地司令官の職分を犯すような言動は一切厳に慎んでもらおう。機関の責務さえ果たしていればよい。異存はないな。
かしこまりました、司令官閣下。
Your Excellency. That should have like, because he's a commander, not a.
It doesn't matter. Remember, Herman is a Your Excellency as well. He's only a Commodore.
Yeah, but that implies like nobility. Oh, that really got into his skin.
苦虫を2、3匹まとめて噛みつぶしている。
ラインハルト様。
こっちだ、急げ。するな。
Oh no, she's gonna die.
No, it's worse than that. She's trapped in eternal slow motion. I don't know. I guess maybe she was a white woman. And that's why you don't order the black hole sandwich. See, I don't know. I'm just slightly disappointed that she's white, and that's a weird thing that goes through my head. Well, there's not a lot of black representation in anime.
Yeah. Oh, she is darker skin, so.
I don't know. She was really light when he was coming out of the room, as opposed to what she looked like in the room.
Yeah.
Oh no, I forgot the glass part. Oh. Total recalls it.
How is it? 教科書通りに陣を張っています。まあ、5倍の兵力があれば成功法で来るのも当然でしょうな。
左翼の装甲車が突出しすぎてるようだ。少し下がらせろ。来ます。宇宙歴794年、帝国歴480
Finally moving into the next month.
この日のカレンダーは血文字で彩られることになった。
I mean, to be fair, the planet is kind of red too.
フリート聖域の海戦はあるいはこの時に始まったのかもしれなかった。
You're pointless, narrator. You're pointless. The real battle may have begun. I'm the one with all the information, but I'm going to talk really vaguely about things.
The real battle, you know.
Well, this is what I was debating about before when I was saying you're sure about the date? You want to argue about it? Because the narrator suggests the fight began 150 years ago. Yang suggests that it started 130 years ago. So it's like, who's right? The narrator spoils stuff, but he's also really vague about things.
Yeah.
Stop staring at his sister and talk to me, goddammit.
I was thinking that, yeah, they showed that the Lieutenant Commander fucks, so there you go. We
No,
have that
Lieutenant
piece of
Commander
knowledge.
Fox is a different guy.
Lieutenant Colonel.
No, Colonel Fox is his father.
Yeah. But, you know, it's like, I was like, okay, that's a thing. But I think they setting it up to that she's going to die, basically.
Well, certainly going to be the first time I think I'm going to have to censor anything on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't remember anybody else.
No. This is the first time they just go like, yeah, we're going to have a sex scene. Okay, good for you guys. It makes sense. I mean...
Well, I don't mean the sex scene. I mean upper nudity on a woman in this show.
Yeah. I noticed. I guess that's what they're going for. Also, the darker skin shadow thing, but they didn't actually censor it.
I don't know if that would have mattered.
Yeah, no.
数の上での圧倒的不利の中前線する同盟軍。シェンコップの期待通り上空には同盟軍第5艦隊が駆けつけてきた。だがそれは同時に他の帝国軍の艦隊をも呼び集める危険を伴っていた。辺境の衛星でのささやかな局地戦が膠着していたバンフリート聖域の海戦に思いがけない影響を与えることとなった。次回銀河英雄伝説外伝千億の星千億の光第5話危険な男。男たちの野望が銀河をかける。
Yeah, the subtitles didn't keep up with his voice there. He's kept talking. Well, I guess we know that Herman doesn't win, or I guess doesn't win the immediate engagement.
I mean, they did say that they were keeping defenses, so they had to wait for the fleet to support them. That was the whole plan.
No, I'm talking about they said they held off the Imperial attack.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, 5 times the numbers and you couldn't win. But I mean that's what Bocock was talking about before when he got the message. When they were talking about that he was a tactician, not a strategist, that this could be a larger trap being set up if the Alliance has a like-minded person to set something that grandiose up. But it seems like they're indicating that more and more of the fighting fleets that are out there are going to be lured into this. So instead of just like a free space engagement, it's going to become a planetary space engagement. So no giant circles unless we giant circle around the entire fucking planet.
I guess so. We don't know how gravity affects the battles. It hasn't been
I don't know. I'm going to make a quick guess here. Probably attracts it.
And that note...
No snide comments to that?
Oh, no.
I don't think I'm wrong.
Notes. No. Technically, no. Yeah, which is the best part of being correct. Technically correct.
All right, well, I guess that's it. I mean, we don't seem to have much further conversation about the setup of events.
No. That's... Ouch. I'm still recovering.
All right, well, I guess once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stone-Faced Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?